Let me ask you a question today, and before you answer, I would want you to be brutally honest with yourself. If you were not from Nigeria, if Nigeria was not your ancestral home, if your parents, your grandparents, your entire family were not from here, would you look at a map of the world and point to Nigeria and say, this is where I would like to build my future? This is where I would want to raise my children. This is where I want to invest my savings. This is where I would love to retire. Would you choose Nigeria? Because lately this is a question I cannot stop asking myself. And to be honest with you, the answer is making me uncomfortable. Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I am Madam Chumzy. I relocated from the UK about 10 months ago. That's I relocated to Nigeria from the UK. Today, I would like us to have an honest conversation about Nigeria and what's going on in our country. And today's video is not a Nigeria bashing video or that it's saying you should hate Nigeria. That's not what this video is about. It's actually the opposite. Because I believe that if you love something, you should be able to honestly talk about it and give your honest opinions about the thing. So today I would like to talk about how I feel currently. And I'm sure that's how most people feel, because we're always saying, we want to say, okay, people in diaspora should come back home. And I'm not saying people should come back home permanently or just live in Nigeria alone, because I myself, I cannot live in Nigeria. I will always live in the UK and Nigeria. That's the way I want to do my own. But someone like me, I always say people should have great options for themselves. And obviously, if someone that is from Nigeria, I would say, okay, pick Nigeria as your second option, you know. But lately, I've been asking myself this question: why Nigeria? If Nigeria was not if I was not from here, if my parents were not from here, if Nigeria was not my ancestral home, would I pick Nigeria? What would make me want to choose Nigeria to be a place that I would want to live? And to be honest with you, with the things which we all know currently going on in Nigeria, it saddens me. It makes me really sad. Like, I don't understand. You know, it's like, how do you solve a problem like Maria? This is not Nigeria. How do you solve a problem like Nigeria? Because I don't even understand the things you hear every day. You open the social media, you look at social media, all you're hearing is just adoption everywhere. And you just be asking yourself, do we really have a country, or do we even have a government? It's really, really sad. It's like nobody's in charge. That's just, I cannot understand. It's like a car that has lost its brake and just out of control, you know. So the things that have been happening recently, it's really, really making me sad. And you're thinking as in, why would someone want to choose Nigeria, really? Why? And it's making me look at, I'm beginning to ask myself that question. Don't get me wrong, I love Nigeria. We all love Nigeria. I believe anybody that is from here really loves this country. But there are questions now that I think you are forced to begin to ask yourself. Can Can you, I don't know how to explain it. If it's that the freeze says something that Nigeria is difficult to defend. Nigeria is becoming more and more difficult to defend. And that's the truth. If you want to say to people, come back home, what's one thing that you can hold on to or would make you want to come home outside of that you're from here? Outside of this is where my parents are from, this is where my family or my extended family is. I'm beginning to see that the truth is that most of us are seeing Nigeria through the lens of emotions. We see our family, we see our culture, we see our language, we see home, and there's nothing wrong with all of this. But the truth is that if, or rather, the question that I would like to ask, if you were someone that had no connection whatsoever with Nigeria, what would attract you to Nigeria? And I think that's the question that we need to start asking ourselves. Would it be the infrastructure? Would it be a stable electricity? Would it be government services? Would it be the ease to do a business? What really would attract you to Nigeria? Because when we see diasporans or people in diaspora that want to come back home but are hesitant, it's because they don't love Nigeria. I believe they deeply love Nigeria, most of them. But the truth is that love alone cannot eliminate practical concerns. And these are practical concerns that would bother anybody, especially the issue of insecurity in Nigeria. I think people can handle the lack of, let's say, stable electricity and some services. But how do you handle what's going on a personal level? How? If government officials, like the other, just was it last week or so, we heard, I don't know who is it, but a government person in Anambra State was attacked. And these are people that move with convoy. You know, they move with, you understand, security. Then the ordinary me and you, the average citizen, how do you protect yourself from this? How do you live with the fear of, you know, like how in the UK, I'm not saying that we have security issues everywhere, all over the world, you know, but in the UK, I can comfortably tell you, I can decide to drive from the north of UK to the south, let's say from Scotland to England or London. I can do that in the night. When I've been from, literally, I can decide, oh, I want to start my journey at 12 midnight and travel through the night, get to London in the morning, without the fear of being attacked on the road. But in Nigeria, just to move from one town to another, you're thinking twice. People find it difficult now to travel by road. And yes, maybe me and you can afford to buy a ticket and travel by air, but most people are even struggling to buy a ticket to travel by road. How much more buying a ticket to travel by air? That would be something that is really, really expensive for most, the average Nigerian that is struggling to feed. And it's not everywhere you can even travel by air. So it's like Nigerians are being squeezed and, you know, just made uncomfortable, and you're wondering, do we really have a government? I know we have issues of insecurity, or you hear crimes that happening all over the world, but I don't see things like this happening like in the West, and nothing is, you don't really see anything being done that you can say, okay, there's a tangible plan that is clear, that you're seeing improvements and you see that they're working towards curbing this thing. And that's where it's really, really sad. It's not that there's crime, but you're not seeing the evidence that this is being tackled properly in a way to assure people that, look, you can come back home and you're safe. I would go out to buy suya, but now I would go out like to go and buy suya. I'm not late in the evenings, but now I don't even, I'm finding it difficult to even go out to go and get suya. That's how bad it's become, because you hear the bandits, they go on White Hill band. They dress like military people. There's nothing you don't hear. There's nothing you don't hear. I keep seeing that my microphone gets disconnected. Hope I won't have issues with this video. There's nothing that you don't really hear in Nigeria, and it's becoming worrisome. You know, it's a sad thing. We want people to come back home, raise their home, invest, raise their children. Everybody cannot run away from Nigeria. We cannot all run away from Nigeria. But you're finding it more difficult and difficult when people say to you, what of healthcare? What of this? What of that? It's as if you cannot pick one sector in the country and say this sector is functioning real good. Nigeria is a country where people buy their own money. I cannot understand the POS thing. I cannot understand that POS thing, where I would have to work for my money, then still go again and buy my money. And when you look closely, you see that these things are done with, the banks are involved. Because when you go to the bank, you want to withdraw a certain amount of money, you don't see, they seem not to have, or you're not allowed to borrow. These POS people, they get money. Where are they getting the money from? There's a lot of corruption in Nigeria that is not just on governmental level, it's everywhere. And it's something we really have to start thinking about very deeply. I need to check this, that this microphone is working properly. So as I was saying, people, we want people that live in diaspora to come home, invest, you know. We want people to, or rather people also want to come home to, you know, back home here in Nigeria, whether to live or retire here. But because they love Nigeria. But as I said, love alone does not eliminate the practical concerns that people have. People will want to know, if their children will be safe. People want to know if they can move around without fear, if their children would have opportunities. People will want to know, they want answers for these questions. People want to know if Nigeria is a place that the quality of life will be what the sacrifice. And I don't blame them. I don't blame people that would have genuine concerns like this, because some of us living here, myself now, I'm beginning to really ask these questions because of the things that are going on recently. I'm beginning to ask the question truly, would I choose Nigeria if I wasn't from here? What would attract me to want to come and live here? So this way, I think we are getting it wrong. Instead of saying people should come home, and including myself, saying people should come home and invest or live here, you know, retire here, maybe now we should start thinking about what needs to be changed to make the decision of coming back home easier for people. People want practical answers. Because at the end of the day, because you love Nigeria, the emotions of where your family, this where your family from, and all of these things, this is home. It's not going to protect people, or it's not going to keep them safe or provide services that needed for a better quality of life. So this is a question that we really need to start thinking where we are headed in this country. And I'm not going to lie to you, from what I see, Nigeria is a difficult place. It's a difficult place. It's, it's difficult to understand Nigeria. It's really difficult. I don't want to talk too much, but let's just see what's going on. I don't understand. I don't understand, to be honest with you. And it's as if you keep hearing things that you just be like, when will this thing end? If it's improving, then we say, yeah. But it's as if it's getting worse and worse and worse. So you're just like, what's going on? So that's just my rant today. It's not a rant. It's just I don't really talk about all of the crimes because of my son. I find it difficult to come and be talking about these things because I don't want him to live in fear. It's not like I'm living in fear, but I'm concerned. I'm really, really concerned about where we are headed as a country. And the truth is that my son is beginning to hear, because even in school, children, they talk about it. They'll tell you, and he will ask me. That day was asking me, were kids adopted in school, that his classmates were talking about it. And I did say yes. But I didn't want to, you try and just like shift away from that topic so that you're not saying it too much, that he starts thinking about it too much. And you don't want to be living, it's not right for people to live in this kind of environment, And as I said, there is insecurity everywhere. But I have an issue with what concerns me it's as if there's really nothing that is done, that is being done. Maybe they're doing that, because as if every year it's like it's getting worse. So it's as if now we're living in a country where you would have to keep adjusting your plans based on security concerns. And it's sad because people should not have to choose between loving their country and feeling secure. Nigeria is a beautiful country. We have resources. The people are talented. We have so much natural resources in Nigeria. We have a very vibrant culture. Nigeria has potentials to be great, really, really great. One of the greatest nations in the world. But sad. It's really sad, the tragedies that the potential, or rather the reality on ground falls short of the potential. And until that gap is addressed, I tell you, people would always think twice before they make that decision as people in diaspora, to come home. Yeah, there are people that you just know some people cannot come, obviously for reasons, other reasons outside of this. But there are people that really, really want to come home, and they're really concerned about these things: public infrastructure, healthcare, security especially. Security is a major thing for people that live abroad. Bearing in mind that if you're living here, you have that concern, how much more someone that lives thousands of miles away, why would the person not have much more concern about what's going on? So as I said, we should start thinking about what needs to change for people to find it easier to want to come to Nigeria. People should choose Nigeria because of its merits, not because we are from here. Nigeria needs to start attracting people that are also not from here, and it should be based on its merit. Not anytime they talk about Nigeria, what is so prominent in the features or things that they talk about is corruption, negative things, which the sad reality is that most times it's true, and we have to be sincere about it. These are the challenges that we are faced in this country. If you are from here, and to be honest with you, there's got to be a way forward, unless it's really, really, I don't even know what to say again. So that'll be it for today. If you have anything to say, if you agree with me or you disagree with me, I would really like to hear your comment, especially people in diaspora. And as I said, this video is not to discourage anyone. I still love Nigeria. I would always choose Nigeria as my home. It would always be, you know. As I said, I've lived in the UK for a very long time. That's where me and my husband actually started life. So UK is also home to me. Nigeria is home to me. But so when things happen in the UK or Nigeria, it does sadden me, or rather makes me sad. So that'll be it for today. Please, if you've not subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing, like my video, share my video, also click on the notification bell so you receive notification anytime I upload a new video. I would like to say a big thank you to all of you that have subscribed to my channel. Thank you guys so much for all of your support, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.